What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to be going through how to take your second serve from a way to get the point started to a way to get ahead. We're going to be looking at taking that serve and making it more of a weapon and a way that you can even be in an advantageous position even though you have that pressure of having a second serve. So let's get right into it. So you've just missed your first serve and you're about to hit that second serve. The biggest mistake people usually make right at this fork in the road is they go and throw away their intention. They go from aiming their first serve necessarily to their backhand or their forehand or trying to make the person stretch or move to just trying to get it into the box. That is taking a big control component that you have and throwing it out the window. The serve is the only shot you get to hit that has no external factors from before it. There's no balls you have to receive in order to send a serve, so you get control. And by just trying to get it in the box, you're giving up that control. So my first tip is always serve with intention. Even if it's a second serve, you have to know where you want it to go and how you want to hit it. With your second serve, you already know we have the slice and the kick serve, which is usually primarily used for the second serve. But when you're hitting that serve, if you just start going and slicing it in with no purpose, you might be putting it right where they want it. You just go and roll in a soft kick serve just to get it in the box, you might be putting it right where they're anticipating. So use intention when you're serving. First exercises we're going to do is going to be specifically for that. So the way the first exercise is set up is we divide the service box into 3 lanes, like I've done here. You've got the serve that should go down the tee, you got the serve that should go down the middle, and you got the serve that can go out wide. You can also take this whole drill and do it on the opposite side as well. What you do is you're going to hit your serve focusing on the way I have the cone set up in the back. Your goal is to pick a lane that you're going to try to keep the serve in, either out wide, down the middle, or down the tee, but then you're also going to try to get the ball to go through a certain specific cone zone. So I have the cone marked with where the returner usually would be. That's that yellow cone in the back. But what you'll do is you'll take that cone and you'll move it to different spots and see if you can get your serve to hit those spots from different locations. So for example, I hit a serve down the middle and it goes through where those cones are. I might hit a serve over here out wide, but then slice it a little bit and bring it back to them. Or I might hit a serve down the tee and kick it a little bit and get it to move over to that side. Again, trying to lay out your intention on your serve. And it doesn't matter what level you are, you can practice this exercise, just trying to get that bounce to be affecting the person. We're not just looking at the ground now. Most people think what happens on the floor is what's important, but you also got to remember there's a person in the back that's going to be reacting to whatever you do. So you might hit the greatest serve location over here, but if you put a bad action on the ball, it might bounce right where this person wants it to be. So we're trying to make sure we have 2 parts of intention, where the ball lands and how it affects that person. So here's a demonstration on that. So starting off pretty easy, I'm going to go through the middle and then through where those cones are. I'm just going to use an easy flat serve. It would be there, bounces, and then travels right through that zone. And then I would just build up my speed, making sure that I get the ball to do exactly what it's supposed to do. Both of those went in the middle and also went through that spot where the cone is marked in the back. What I might do next is, let's say, again, I use an example, slice the serve out over here and bring it back towards those cones. So hit a ball that curves a bit and that ball bounced right over the cones the same way. Playing around with the action means that your ball's bounce point doesn't inherently dictate what's going to happen in the back. If I was to hit that same spot with a flat serve instead of a slice serve, I'd probably hit the zone that's next to where the cones are sitting. So if I was to hit a serve like so, now that ball goes outside the cone a little bit. Last part of it would just be changing to a different type of serve and moving the zone around. So you've all seen people hit flat serves down the tee. It's nothing fancy, but a flat serve down the tee may only go to that spot right there. If I was to hit a slice serve down the tee, now I'm bringing that bounce further over to this side. And that's what we're trying to talk about when we say having intention on what the serve's going to do. I'm not just hitting the ball in the box. And as you guys saw, I didn't go and slam serves. My job in the first exercise is maintain intention. Whether I'm hitting a serve fast or slow, whether you're at a 2-5 level or a 5-0 level, it doesn't change the fact that your intention can always be consistent. I want the person to have to move 2 steps this way. Fast or slow, old or young, hard or soft, same thing. And if you get them to make those type of moves on purpose, you're going to be 1 step ahead when the ball comes back after the serve. This one is for people who naturally gravitate towards the kick serve. Your second serve can usually be a kick serve or a slice serve. This is for the kick servers. When you are using your kick serve, your goal is to do one of 2 things. Either get the ball to bounce back and push the person off the baseline, or get the ball to bounce high and away from them, getting their contact point to be stretched out. This drill may seem a little gimmicky, but it really reinforces the fact that we're paying attention to the action of the ball, not where it lands. I have a cart set up in the service box on that side. What that does is that's actually going to raise my target. Your goal is to get the ball to land in the cart, which means you have to have a high enough arc on the ball where you're not hitting the side of the cart and blasting straight through it, but actually getting the ball to travel up and down, which means that as it comes down, it's actually going to bounce higher the second time. So if I'm returning a serve and the ball comes at me low, it's not going to come from a low position and then go really high. You have to get that ball falling from a higher point. By using the cart, that just helps us reinforce the shape of the ball that we have to hit. We're always trying to get the ball to go up first and then drop down. Really easy to understand, but in practice it actually takes a lot of work. A lot of people naturally gravitate towards thinking about what's happening on the floor. So you end up spinning the ball, but really trying to push it down into the box. This gets the brain focusing on creating the right shape. And as you start becoming more and more successful with it, increase your acceleration. So you saw what I did in the first one. I went really slow and just pushed it up to get the shape of the ball. Now what I would do is I would just build up some speed and still get the ball falling down at that same. The shape of the serve is what's going to be super important here, because the higher your ball falls from, the higher the bounce would naturally have to be. And all you have to do is create enough acceleration on the ball that the bounce gets pushed backwards. Remember, when we hit heavy forehands or heavy serves, it bites the court and kicks back. But kicking back doesn't inherently mean it's going to kick up. You need to make sure that you have the correct height from the beginning, so that when the ball kicks back, it also still uses that bouncing force and gets up. Super easy to set up. You can use a trash can, a ball cart, anything that takes your contact from the floor to about 3 or 4 feet up. Then you start just really working on creating the shape. Super easy to practice. Go out and use this one. Now 1-to-1 to help the slice servers. So our last exercise is going to be for the slice serve. I'm going to use it on the deuce sides because I've done all the other exercises on the ad side, so I want you guys to just get a little bit of a different visual. But everything that we've done on the ad side is usable on the deuce side and vice versa. I've set up a little pole. You can use a broomstick or anything else that would fit inside the net. And my job right now is to aim my serve for that pole, right at it. But I'm going to use a slice serve, trying to find the action on the side of the ball. And my goal is to get the ball to go more towards the blue sideline. The goal in practicing this is getting your action to be predictable. The more you understand how much spin you naturally impart on the ball, the more you can move this pole around and start using it as your judgment point for how to get your serve to be more effective by going out wide or down the tee, by just getting a predictable curve. So if I aim my slice serve for this pole, which is basically right in the center right now, I'll understand how much my ball curves naturally. Yes, I did hit the pole first try. Boss level stuff. But the person on the other side will now have to move, basically based on that serve, to about the doubles line. Now I understand if I aim my serve to the middle with a slice, my opponent would have to move about 1 step to the side. That will then allow me to keep practicing that same idea and getting the ball to have a very predictable curve over and over again. Once I know what my natural curve is, then I won't run into issues like that where I'm trying to hit a slice out wide, but I keep overdoing it. I know if I aim for that pole, my ball lands right in a predictable spot. And then, as a training tool, I can either start imparting more spin and pulling the curve away a little bit, or I can start aiming over to the side and figuring out how to still get it to land at the same spot without losing control of my serve. This is really easy to practice, and it's really easy to adjust. If you're a person who only has a little bit of natural slice on it, you know where to put the pull. If you're a person who really curves the ball around, you know where to put the pull. But again, it allows you to come out and practice it consistently. And consistent practice on these things is what's going to make you have confidence when you start trying to really be effective with these serves. You're not going to get it in one shot. You're not going to get it in the first day, but you will be able to have predictable results over and over again just because you've done it so many times. So how do you take this stuff that we've done in the video and go from getting your serves in to making it a weapon? Last part, acceleration. You have to make sure that as you practice this stuff, you scale the intensity that you're having yourself add to the ball. You can start off slow, just getting the result over and over again. But as you keep getting the result over and over again, you need to build in more and more racket speed and more momentum so that you can start having predictable and more effective results on your opponent. Your first day, you might only get the person to stretch this far, but that's something that you can start to anticipate every time. The next time you go out, you might get them to stretch this far. And inch by inch, or foot by foot, depending on who you are, you'll see results that make you have more confidence when you step up to use that second serve. The box doesn't look so small when you know what you're aiming for and you know what the ball is going to do, because it's become predictable. But take these drills, go out, practice them, give them to somebody else that you know goes into double faulting fits, or you see people just crushing returns at them because they just keep putting the ball right where the person likes. But that wraps up this video. I hope it was very effective for you guys. I hope it was helpful. Do me a favor, send it to somebody who will benefit from it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.